What's good? Peace, power, and profit, everyone. This is Wall Street Logic again with another video, another banger too, y'all. Another banger. Um, this is for my sneakerheads and just people in general because this information, needs to be put out regardless. Um, but it's been a big craze, a big trendsetter for the last maybe 3, 4, 5 years, maybe probably more. But it's centered around botting and botting sneakers to be specific. But now they're botting everything from PlayStations to Xboxes to anything online. So we're gonna get into this specific topic around buying sneakers. Um, I'm gonna play a video from CNBC. Yes, it made it this far to a media outlet like CNBC. They've been covering, sneakers and reselling and buying, for years, but you know, it's become bigger and when normal people, average people can't, get highly released sneakers that they're fans of, you know, it gets out. So there's a video that they did. They did an article about it, and I'm gonna play the video, and then I'm gonna share my commentary and talk about all of these things in length, and then I want to actually read the article as well, and go through some details, and then on the back end of that, I need to recommend some other reading about this type of stuff in the first place. I know my brother in arms over African Emporium, he sent me some material on this stuff a while back. So I want to bring that to the forefront. I may do a little reading there and just give some commentary, see what people think and go from there. And as far as that, I'm gonna let this video play, and we can just all check out the information and what's being said and discussed in this video. So let me turn this off and let it play.
If you ever wanted to buy one of these, then you know it's a lot harder than it looks. Thanks to sneakerhead culture, which got its start in the late 1980s. And by the early 2010s, sneakerhead resale culture hit a fever pitch.
That's right. People were fighting over sneakers today.
It's all over this shoe. A shoe shoppers say cost them $180 a pair.
Finish Line and all the big sites crashed last night.
By mid-afternoon, hundreds had appeared for sale on eBay.
Yeah, I'm gonna resell it. You're gonna resell it? Yeah. Anybody wants to pay $1,000?
In 2022, the global sneaker industry was valued at nearly $86 billion, with the market predicted to reach $128 billion by 2030. And the sneaker resale market is also huge, projected to grow to $30 billion by 2030. That's why a phenomenon known as sneaker botting has taken off alongside the sneaker craze, making it harder and harder for many to get these valuable sneakers when they drop.
A bot is basically just something that automates the checkout process. So when you go on a website and you buy anything, it asks you to fill out your credit card number. It asks you to fill out your billing information. A bot, it automates that entire process so that you can get through the checkout as fast as possible.
Sneaker bots took off in 2012 when Nike released Air Jordan Dornbecker 9 shoes on Twitter, requiring users to direct message them for a chance to reserve the shoe. This led to the creation of bots that DM'd Nike when it found keywords like RSVP now and Dornbecker. The bots were able to react faster than humans.
Man, bots are like a thorn in my side. I'm now competing with them all the time for special releases and collabs.
It takes the fun out of the hobby. And that's kind of what it is. At least for me, it's a hobby, it's a passion.
But for some, it's also a booming business opportunity.
In 2022, I made a gross profit of $131,000 minus $15,000 for buying expenses, and then we still make six figures over the course of 1 year.
CNBC dove into the sneaker industry to find out why bots have made buying sneakers harder than ever and what companies are doing to get ahead of the problem. To understand bots and the issues they raise, let's take a look at how sneaker shopping has evolved. Until just a few years ago, customers would camp outside a sneaker retailer such as Foot Locker, waiting in line for a slim chance to buy a pair of shoes. Now, in the digital age, instead of waiting outside, you're waiting in a virtual queue.
In that physical world, there's unwritten rules. You don't jump the queue, you don't let people in front of you, you are patient, you are being served one by one. Now we are not talking 500 people, we are talking millions, sometimes 5 to 25 million or 30 million people in a queue coming into the website wanting to buy those goods. And that's a mix of bots, and there is no transparency on who came first.
Sneakerheads rely on platforms like Nike's Sneakers app to buy highly coveted shoes at retail price. But with the shift to e-commerce came the rise of bots, and they've only gotten better at gaming the system.
So there are good bots, like the one that are crawling the internet, updating search engines and Wikipedia and a lot of stuff that we all benefit from. And then there are the bad bots, bots that are, we could call the parasites of the internet, which purpose it is to get into the web shops, buy a lot of the goods ahead of people in order to sell them on the secondary market.
A 2021 study from cybersecurity company Imperva found that 42% of internet traffic was non-human, and nearly 24% of retail site traffic came from bots with malicious intent. Check, another cybersecurity company, estimated that 1 in 4 Black Friday shoppers in 2022 were fake.
Everything that is a high-ticket, high-demand item, especially if there's scarcity involved, is a prime target for scalper bots.
Jesper Essendrop has experience fighting bots with a top sneaker brand as CEO of Qit, an IT company that specializes in controlling internet traffic with virtual waiting rooms.
If we look at some of our biggest sales of high-profile goods like sneakers, we see something between 40% and 95% all traffic coming into that web shop is from bots.
Once sneakers are purchased using bots, they are often resold on third-party platforms like StockX, GOAT, and Flight Club. And exclusive drops can bring in huge profits for resellers. In 2022, Nike's Air Force One low off-white Brooklyn shoe, which originally retailed at $160, had an average price premium of 912% on StockX.
They're buying inordinate amounts of product line and then jacking up the prices that are oftentimes unaffordable, if not abusive.
The market was impacted in October, however, when Adidas ended its deal with the rapper Ye, formerly known as Kanye West, after he made anti-Semitic remarks. Now, more than $1 billion worth of his Yeezy line shoes are in limbo. Between that and the general slowdown in spending, Cowen Research Equity told CNBC the resale market is seeing a slowdown. But Adidas and other top brands like Nike and New Balance are still constantly under attack from bots.
If we look at a concrete sneaker sale last year, 1.7 million visitors came into our website on a sneaker sale. Only 100,000 out of those 1.7 million visitors were actually real human. The rest was bots.
In the past, Nike's Sneakers app has come under criticism for the way it handles bots, with loyal customers complaining that they had to compete with bots on every single drop. Nike says the Sneakers app receives an average of 12 billion bot calls or entries trying to game the system per month. A customer can submit an entry to a draw by selecting a shoe and a size. Nike then selects participants at random to buy the shoe, but some of these customers are actually bots. The 2022 release of Nike's Travis Scott Air Jordan 1 Reverse Mocha shoe received nearly 3.8 million entries, with almost 1.9 million of those entries being bots. But since then, Nike has attempted to make some changes. In 2022, Nike released updated terms and conditions aimed at fighting bots, which banned purchasing products for resale, saying it could cancel orders, refuse returns, charge restock fees, or close the accounts of people suspected of botting. But these terms only apply to US-based customers. Nike did not comment on why the terms don't apply internationally, or if there are plans to expand them. And botting is still a huge issue across the global market.
I just want one pair in my size. I actually want to wear it, and bots just kind of will eat up 50 pairs at a time, and they just all end up on the resale market.
So how does this all work? We asked one of the people behind the bots.
The amount of sneakers that I bought can really vary from month to month. Sometimes I'm able to buy hundreds within a single month. Sometimes I bought less than 50.
Meet Nova, known as Botter Boy Nova on YouTube, where he has amassed nearly 200,000 subscribers by teaching people how to bot.
Got one. Got another one. I run the biggest, most popular sneaker botting YouTube channel.
Nova is a self-proclaimed sneakerhead and has been botting for around 4 years.
I was seeing a lot of these botters take so many sneakers away, and I thought I was at a disadvantage. So I thought to myself, you know what? How do I get one of those?
Nova asked not to reveal his real name because of security concerns.
Around 2017, 2016, there was a real stigma in botting. I basically put a face on what botters may look like. And at the end of the day, I'm just a regular person.
And he's not the only one. There are entire botting communities made up of people just like him. And serious botters join paid membership groups called cook groups, which provide access to resources like release guides, insider tips, and restock alerts on platforms like Discord and Slack.
Your cook group is basically your bread and butter. They tell you what websites to go for, what shoes are profitable, what shoes aren't profitable. The vast majority of them, especially the best ones, they can range anywhere between $40 to $100 a month.
Cook groups help botters learn the basics, but there's still a learning curve for beginners.
I guess I could bot myself to just get one pair for myself. I honestly am not very tech savvy, and I don't really care to put the energy into that. I just kind of miss back in the day when you just walk into a store and just get it, and it's not really a hassle.
Botting can also be a costly hobby.
You need multiple bots because you need to make sure all of your bases are covered. And for each of these bots, some of them have renewal fees ranging anywhere between $50 to $80 a month.
But Nova also spends less on bots than some because he's often given free bots in exchange for promotion on his YouTube channel. Normally, bots can be rented for as little as $5, while others have purchasing fees reaching into the thousands. Which brings up the question, is botting fair?
At the end of the day, there's not enough sneakers to go around for everyone. So, long story short, you have to work as hard as possible to be able to obtain the sneakers for retail price.
It's unfair, I would say, and it's just more of like a memorabilia thing. If they're only making 500 of these shoes, I want to be one of those people that has one.
Buying, renting, or using a bot to purchase sneakers may violate the terms and conditions of retailers, but it's still legal.
I don't think botting should be illegal. There has been a few times where legislators are trying to ban retail botting, sneaker botting, things of that nature, but nothing ever came of it.
This has become more and more of a common occurrence, a phenomenon that is totally anti-consumer and anti-small business.
In 2016, Paul Tonko introduced the Better Online Ticket Sales Act, or the BOTS Act, which outlawed the resale of tickets purchased using bot technology. However, the effectiveness of the law is in question after a fiasco in 2022 over Taylor Swift tickets led some congressional members to accuse the Federal Trade Commission of not enforcing the law. The FTC's only case of enforcing this law came in 2021, 5 years after it was passed. Also in 2021, Tonko introduced a new law that would act like the BOTS Act for retail sites instead of ticket sales.
The Stopping Grinch Bots Act authorizes FTC to go forward, utilize the tools that we would give them with this legislation, where they can levy fines for those who have knowingly circumvented control systems.
Congress has yet to vote on the bill, and it's unclear when this will happen. Even if it does pass, FTC enforcement is still key.
It seems like something has to be done at some point because it's just kind of out of hand and kind of messing up the hobby for a lot of purists.
I feel like it's going to be a law that's going to be impossible to enforce because at the end of the day, some of the bots are so sophisticated now where telling whether or not it's a human or a machine would be impossible.
For now, it's up to retailers to implement anti-bot measures. Some brands use CAPTCHA methods, which help identify a bot as a non-human, and companies like Nike have implemented raffle systems instead of the first-come, first-served drops that give bots an advantage.
Recently, as of 2023, my success with Nike has been in the gutter. I've not been copying anything from the Nike sneakers app. People are successfully able to still bot Nike sneakers. However, the way in which you have to go about it, you have to really understand how the Nike filter works.
Nike did not comment on whether customers using bots are still finding success on the sneakers app or if there are any updates coming to its raffle system. Bots can make up 10 to 50% of entries, depending on the demand of the launch. For example, almost half of the entries for the recently released Travis Scott Air Jordan 1 Low OG Olive shoes were bots. But Nike told CNBC it has up to a 98% success rate combating bots in the highest demand launches.
Nike probably has the most advanced and intricate anti-bot systems, and they're actually quite effective in stopping bots. When you press buy now, it says, hey, you're in line to purchase the item. You're not actually in line. This is actually a raffle. So it's a raffle that lasts for 3 minutes, and as Nike is taking in the entries, it's filtering out all of the bot entries and all of the duplicate entries.
Companies like Ticketmaster and Fabletics lean on third-party services such as Qit to help filter out bots.
We are basically what we call a virtual waiting room that can monitor whether or not this is a human being or a bot, and we try to do our best to kick all those bots out.
Still, sneaker botters can often bypass these measures with loopholes like jigging, slightly changing their address, name, or other identifying information. At the end of the day, it's still up to retailers to regulate botting.
There are some websites that really don't care about botters simply because sometimes their only goal is to sell out. And if your goal is to sell out, then it doesn't make sense to create a barrier between someone trying to purchase your sneakers and someone trying to sell the sneakers.
As botters get more advanced and sneakers become more exclusive, will sneakerheads without bots ever regain a chance at scoring the latest drop?
For as long as it's legal, I think I'm going to keep botting because simply put, if a human can do it, then a bot can do it too. And as long as there's items coming out, whether it be sneakers, new generation consoles, GPUs, where the demand far outweighs the supply, then there's money to be made.
I understand people out to get their money or whatever, but it kind of just destroys the fun for people like me.
Find something else to make money, right? Keep the rare shoes for the people that want them. Fans, that's what we are. We're fans. Stop.
All right. So cool. All right. So as you can tell, this guy makes $100K a year. Hold on 1 second. It's light in this piece. All right. Small light in here. So, sneaker botting is serious, man. It's live in full effect. Like, you got people out here that, are legit botters. They know how to bot everything. They're successful at it, but it costs a lot of money. Now, I think he was being a little disingenuous about how much he spent on, getting a bot and botting. It takes more. It takes way more than $15,000. I know that for sure. I know that for sure because I'm in these sneaker groups, whether it's Discord, Facebook, whatever. It takes more than $15,000 to bot successfully. So I think he's been a little disingenuous there. And it takes a lot of time and energy, resources, and botting is not easy. Everybody's not going to be good at it. It's not going to always be successful. But once you find a rhythm, a system that works, and you can infiltrate, these sites, even with heavy bot protection, because I'm going to get into that too. You can be successful at it, and you can pretty much hit anything. Now, is it always going to be a 50 clip? And what I mean by 50 clip is, hitting 50 pairs. Because one, when it comes to botting, yes, you got to have the resources. You have to have the money. You got to have different emails, addresses. You have to have all of these type of things and services that they do provide for you. Is out here on the market that you got to pay for those too. So you have to have all that in place to really be successful as a botter. And then you turn around and become a reseller. So, you know, 15,000, that's not near enough money to have a successful botting business per se. You need more than that because, like I say, you got to pay for all of these little services to provide you emails, addresses. Unless you know a lot of people like that, you know, you still need, you know, them to make accounts. You need to have emails. You need legit phone numbers, so forth and so on. You got to have that information. That way, you know, you have no slip ups and it's a consistent process every time. And you don't have to keep changing information, which a lot of people have to do. So it's just a lot of detail oriented stuff underground that you don't really see out on the forefront when it comes to botting. It is very time consuming, and you know it takes a lot of money to keep that business rolling and flowing, especially in a marketplace that we're in now, which is different than it was uh, from COVID and back. You know, it was kind of, you know, popping a little bit. And then when COVID happened, it really became extremely popular to resell. And, you know, botting, you know, took on a new face. So it's not the same marketplace as it was then that it is now, just in a few short years. All right, so we watched the video from CNBC. Now I'm going to actually read the article about that. And I'm going to read two articles concerning uh, this whole botting team, and there's also a couple books, PDFs that I'm going to read as well. So if you are really, you know, about the information, then you know I'm going to be on here while you know discussing this stuff and giving commentary as I go. So let's read the CNBC article, and it came out on June 1st, which was Thursday. So here's the article. The title says, "Why Bots Make It So Hard to Buy Nikes." It ain't just Nikes, it's everything. It's everything. But specifically, Nike when it comes to the sneakers app and, you know, some of their partners and other retailers like JD Sports, Finish Line, Foot Locker, Champ Sports, Shoe Palace, so forth and so on. It's just so many that, you know, if you have access to that website, if you have accounts, if you have emails, phone numbers, addresses, you can buy any site in the world and, you know, make a business out of it as long as you have the resources to do so. So anyway, it says, "Why bots make it so hard to buy Nikes?" Sneakers are among the most sought after collectible items. They're also a prime target for scalpers. Grandview Research values the global sneaker industry at $86 billion and predicts it will reach $128 billion by 2030. The resale market is also strong, with Cowen Research estimating it will grow to $30 billion by the end of the decade. Such popularity makes sneakers an easy target for bots or software applications that can replace humans in performing certain tasks. Sneaker bots can accelerate the checkout process, wait in the virtual line, or even fill out billing information. Sneaker bots took off in 2012 when Nike released its Air Jordan Dortenberger 9 shoes on Twitter. Nike required users to direct message the company for a chance to reserve the shoe. What followed was the creation of bots that messaged Nike when they found keywords like RSVP now and Dortenberger. The bots were able to react faster than humans, beating out customers for a chance at the shoes. Sneaker bots now represent big business for the people behind them. In 2022, this is a guy speaking that was in the video. "I made a gross profit of $131,000, said Bada Boy Nova, a sneaker bot developer and YouTube creator who goes by that alias due to security concerns. Jesper Essendrop, CEO of Hewitt agrees. His company specializes in controlling internet traffic with virtual waiting rooms. Essendrop said that when looking at sales of high-profile goods like sneakers, 40% to 95% of all traffic coming into web shops is from bots. That is a lot, man. That is a lot. That is a lot. And it's going to get deeper. It's going to get deeper because I'm going to read some other information later from Nike, from directly from Nike. And, one of their partners, made a comment on this, on how much they spend to prevent bots and the time they spend on it. So going on, in 2021, cybersecurity software company Imperva found that nearly 23% of retail site traffic came from bots with malicious intent. And CHEQ, another cybersecurity vendor in the space, found that 1 in 4 Black Friday shoppers in 2022 were fake. There are currently no laws against using bots to buy sneakers or other retail goods, but legislation such as a bill called the Stopping Grinch Bots Act, authored by Representative Paul Tonko, Democrat, New York, has been introduced. Bots are like a thorn in my side, said Richie Roxas, who collects New Balance sneakers. I'm now competing with them all the time for special releases and collabs. Very true. That's why I said it's not just Nike, it's all these other, sneaker brands. Puma, New Balance, what are some other ones? Adidas, of course, Under Armour, basically any shoe, man, any shoe, any retail goods, period. PlayStations, computer chips, anything heavily bodied. All right, so going on. Top sneaker brands like Nike, Adidas, and New Balance are under constant attack from bots. I just said that. Nike says its sneakers app receives an average of 12 billion bot calls or entries trying to game the system a month. A month. A month. That's just a month, y'all. Now, that's not including hype sneakers like the Jordan 1 Lost and Found. The Jordan 1 Lost and Found, every time it dropped, the original release date last year in November, I think it was November 17th, I believe. That release in itself crashed the app. Then they re-released again this year on Sneakers app, and it was the same thing. We literally waited for an hour to know if we got a dub or not, or win, if we won or not. Because on high demand sneakers, highly released and highly wanted sneakers, they have a system called a draw, where basically you go in, when it opens up, it's like a 10-minute draw. You go in, you submit your information, and you wait for, I guess, another 10 minutes, till the draw is over, and then they start selecting winners. Well, it was so much traffic on the app that it actually crashed the app to where people couldn't even pay. They couldn't even, every time they would, go in there and try to select to put their information in, the app would crash or give us an error message, or, it would have a payment error. It was something that was kicking people out of the app. It was just a catastrophe every time, because that sneaker in itself is high demand. That is a classic. It's a timeless shoe. It's the first shoe Jordan ever wore. It was the first shoe Jordan that Nike created for Jordan, and it's a Chicago colorway. So yes, people are going to want that shoe, not only for retail, but for nostalgia, and its historical value. So that release was so bad twice. Even at other retailers like Finish Line, JD Sports, FLX, which stands for Foot Locker, and its subsidiaries, which is just Champ Sports now. The apps would crash because these are high demand. Millions and millions and millions and millions of people want this shoe. Want this shoe. I did get them, by the way. You know, I hit about 4 or 5 pair. So, you know, and even in that system, even in a draw system on Sneakers app, bots can still eat. Bots can still eat. They can still win, and they can still outdo any regular human because they can do multiple entries. And we're talking millions of entries. They just said they got 12 billion bot calls or entries trying to game the system a month. Yes, yes. A single bot can input so many entries compared to your one, or at most, if you got family members, 5 to 10. You still can't do nothing with a bot. A bot is outworking you. You as a human have no chance, or a slim chance, I would say, a slim chance of getting that shoe or getting that release because there's so many other entries and bots are cooking. Bots are cooking. And it's just to where a point, man, you either gotta find a botter or learn how to bot yourself. But going on the Sneakers app, a customer can submit an entry to a drawing by selecting a shoe and a size. Nike then selects participants at random to buy the shoe. A lot of these customers are actually bots. A lot of them are bots. So if you have a Sneakers app account, most of your information is saved anyway. So what you have to do is when the shoe actually drops, and it's been some different theories with, you know, how people get their wins on Sneakers app. And to me, it's all luck. It's not about entry time or, you know, some type of system that you think will work because it worked a couple times here and there. It's really random, man. It really is random. And if it's a highly released product, most times it's going to be a draw. Most times, if it's a Leo, which means let everyone on or let everyone in, then you have a better chance. But when it's a draw, you can't output the entries of a bot. And like I was saying, if you're a Sneakers app member, you got an account, your information is saved. But there's been issues now to where, people are getting their accounts hacked to where their address is being changed. So if they actually do win, the shoes is not coming to their address. It's coming to another address that whoever hacked their account, uh, whoever hacked their account, um, is going to get the shoes based off of that because they changed the address. So it's just so much going on with these apps, man, and with bots, and it's just a lot for a average person to try to keep up with this stuff, which is why I'm here and I provide a service because you have to really be into this to be successful. I mean, and that's just on GRs, general release shoes as well, because those get botted and those aren't easy to get. And like I said, if you don't have any history, damn, stop texting. If you don't have no history with these companies and their reward systems, then it's gonna be hard for you to grab a shoe manually unless the shoe is not in demand and people don't want them. Because initially, what happens is when a shoe drops on a retail site, uh, most times a retro will sell out, or a Nike Air Max or whatever. It'll sell out, and then what happens is they'll just move it to Nike.com. So it'll go from sneakers app to Nike.com. So, but the only issue with Nike is they don't have a reward system. Now their partners do. Foot Locker and Champ Sports have a reward system. FLX Rewards. JD Sports and Finish Line, they have a reward system called Exclusive Access, where you can build up points when you spend, and Exclusive Access goes to you because of your history of spending with them, buying their products, and shopping consistently. All of these other companies have a reward system. So Nike, as the big man on campus, doesn't have a reward system for its members. So it doesn't matter if you shop and been a member of Nike since 1998. You ain't hitting on no Travis Scotts or some Armand Meuniers or the Jordan 1 Chicago's, the Jordan 11 Breads. You ain't hitting, on none of those just because you've been a member for so long. It don't work like that. It don't work like that, which, is why people gripe and are mad because, they've been shopping with Nike, buying from Nike for so long. But now, you got bots eating up all the stock of the shoes, and people who been, loyal and shopping with Nike for so long, they ain't get no love. They may get a W here and may get a W there, but it ain't consistent. So, that's the issue, that presents, itself with bots versus, sneakerheads who want sneakers but can't get them because of bots. And I really just provided a solution. And we'll talk about that once I get done reading this article. So on the sneakers app, a customer can submit an entry to a drawing by selecting a shoe and a size. Nike then selects participants at random to buy the shoe. A lot of these customers are actually bots. According to Nike, bots can make up to 10% to 50% of entries depending on demand. For example, in 2023, in the 2023 release of the Travis Scott Air Jordan 1 Low OG Olives, nearly half of the entries were bots. But Nike told CNBC it has up to a 98% success rate combating bots in the high demand launches. That's debatable. I want to see the numbers on that. Of course, they're not going to provide that information, but 98% is high. That is high. But that 2% also is a lot. 2% is a lot in this case. The Travis 1 Air Jordan Low Olives, Travis Scott's, I actually hit those manually. I actually won those manually. Surprised as hell. 'Cause I never hit on a collab shoe on Nike in my own personal account. Now, I hit them on other accounts once, and it was a draw too. So lucky. But we just got the numbers on the Travis Scott Lowe's Olives. It was 50%, almost half of the entries were bots. So they can see this stuff, and they went as far as when you do select or in a selection process, they do have a screen that comes up, basically verifying that you're a real person, and they're filtering out bots, and all this other stuff. That stuff is there now. That is a new invention that they came up with. They did come up with that here recently this year, actually, because it didn't used to be like that. It used to be you just waiting in line. So I think now at this point, they got the numbers on this, and I believe that they think 98% is enough. Hold on. Shit, this ain't plugged in. All right. Plug this. All right, we good. We're good. Okay, so man, let me see, bro. trying to take this off. Okay. All right. So a 98% success rate, that's pretty damn good, but 2% is still a lot. It's still a lot. That means a bot is still going to be successful regardless. And on that, we're going to get details on, how much it takes to prevent bots as far as money and the timing you have to prevent bots, because it's like zombies. You might kill 1,000 zombies, but it's still 1,000,000 more coming. So anyway, let's finish the article real quick. And it says Nova and other bot creators have been less successful in recent years, but they still find loopholes and ways to bypass anti-bot measures like capture systems. One workaround is called jigging, which is when a creator slightly changes the address, name, or other identifying information. People are successfully able to bot Nike sneakers, said Nova. However, the way in which you have to go about it, you have to really understand how the Nike filter works. And he talked about that in the video. He said Nike did not comment on whether customers are still able to successfully use bots on the sneakers app. Watch the video to learn more about sneaker bots and how companies like Nike are handling them. Well, of course, Nike is not going to comment on that. They said they had a 98% success rate in stopping bots, which means it's still 2%, where they fail at. So it's still bots still eating regardless. And you're not going to be able to completely stop bots. You're not. And that's a reality. That's a reality, and that's something that if Nike is going to revamp itself again to be able to 100% stop bots, or come up with a system to where bots don't work, like an exclusive access system, like JD Sports and Finish Line has, or it's bot free exclusive access. So you can't bot the exclusive access that JD Sports and Finish Line gives out. You either get it or you don't. So, or FLX, where you have to build up your account, build up your points to be able to enter in on a reservation, and you have to be consistent. And normally smaller accounts are not going to win. Jordans, Yeezys, or Dunks, and highly released sneakers that people want. You're gonna have to put in some work, put in some time, and spend some money to be able to win with these retailers and having different accounts. So on the whole botting thing, right? So a lot of people don't know a brother named James Whitner. He's the owner of the Whitaker Group, Ama Manier, Social Status, APB Store, and so on. So he did an interview with Complex a couple years ago, and he was talking about their system and how efficient and effective their system is. And when it came to the question about releases and Jordan brand launches, he got specific. He said they spend $500,000, which is $500K, a collab launch. A collab launch is I'm on Munier and Jordan brand, I'm on Munier and Nike, any project like that. He spent $500,000 a launch to prevent bots. And it's a 4-minute window. So they can only prevent bots for 4 minutes, and that costs you $500,000. That's how, deep it is, from a monetary side and a time side. So 4 minutes, that's not a lot of time. That's not a lot of time. And so people will take that time frame, and you can probably take this time frame and try to get an idea. Okay, well, maybe I need to wait 4 minutes to try and see if I can get the shoe or get in immediately, or whatever, something like that. Because after 4 minutes, that's it. And honestly, I don't think it's 4 minutes. I think it's less. I honestly think it's less. I'm thinking maybe 2 minutes. And then, Bot Zombie's crazy. So a $500,000 is a lot of money, bro, to try to stop bots. That is a lot of money. Just for one launch. So that's $1 million every 2 launches. Now, I don't know how much Nike is spending and how much time it takes them to stop bots. But that insight from James Whitner, says everything. You don't have a lot of time. And that's why, having bots or having an auto checkout service, which is ACO is what they call it, is important. And the average person don't really spend the time to try to do all of this because it's a lot. It's time consuming. And when you are trying to get a Travis Scott, when you're trying to get a Jordan 1 Chicago, when you're trying to get a Jordan 11 Bread, when you're trying to get an Alma Mayer Jordan collab, it makes it that much more difficult to where you can't, be trying to multitask and then, try to cop the sneaker. Now, in some cases, yeah, you can go to sneakers app, select and wait if it's a draw. Same thing with, if it's a Leo drop, hurry up, put your information in, and you sit there and wait, and it's a chance. It really is a raffle system, like the guy said in the video. It pretty much is a raffle system because it's no guarantee that you're gonna win. Now, this is just sneakers app. The other retailers, your best shot is getting in as fast as possible, putting in your information as fast as possible, making sure you're logged in, because the queue system with a lot of these retailers too can actually sign you out of your account when you're logged in, and then that's another minute trying to get back in, being kicked out of the queue, and then by that time, all the bots are eating, all the bots are taking all the stock. So, you really have no time to waste. You have to be quick, you have to be fast, and and it's time consuming. You have to find, systems that work for you. And the average person is just not gonna do that. So that's why I'm here, and other uh people who resell it here, it's really difficult. And if you don't want to go through that, then you find somebody like me and others, to try to help smooth out that process, because we have the resources to, get these releases, to get these shoes. Because, like I said before, man, this stuff is really about relationships. You know, whether it's with the retailers that you shop at, getting to know them, workers there, employees, managers, or, being in some of these sneaker groups via Discord and other social medias, and just getting to know people, botters themselves, or people who are just connected, um, and, have a lot of relationships with different people, who, can get these sneakers easily. And you may have to pay a little more, pay a little extra, but you can sleep well and not have to worry, because you know that the person you're dealing with, is legit, and they have connections where you're gonna get your shoe, regardless. So on the flip side of this whole botting team, right? Uh, you have now, it's still, heavy botting going into the video. But she did mention something in the video about, the boom cycle of botting, and to where it is now. Well, it's still, heavy bot city out here. But a lot of releases are not, um, not heavily coveted because the resale market um, is not banging like that no more. And we can blame it on Nike and them making trash sneakers and trash colorways and this and that. People don't like it, and we can blame it on them hiking the prices of the products and retros and stuff like that. And we also can mention that the economic effects of this whole thing as well. So speaking of dealing with inflation uh, and interest rates, things like that, higher prices on food, clothing, and shelter, which is GDP, gross domestic products, which breaks down to products and services being more expensive. And some people been laid off their jobs, and don't really have that, don't really have money, because your money is not the same. It doesn't have the same value today as it did 3 years ago. So, because of inflation. So, that's why a lot of people are using buy now, pay later services like Afterpay, Klarna, Affirm, and things like this. And people use those services for shoes. So, and then a lot of people are using credit cards as well, which is why credit card debt has shot up as well. And it's just getting real strenuous when it comes to money. So you have a lot of shoes sitting, not because people don't like the colorways. It's because people don't have the money. And this is really a sneakerhead's dream. Where people who, can rest well, they don't got the money right now, so they wait till they get paid and got a little extra money, and they can go in store and get the shoes, or get them online, and not have to worry about bots taking all the shoes, trying to resell, because the resale market is not booming like that anymore. The boom is over. It only booms on certain shoes, like a Chicago Jordan 1, like a Travis Scott, because those entries that were on the Travis Scotts were purely for resale. Because a Travis Scott retro or Travis Scott shoe, Jordan 1, is $150, or at least the low version. It's $150. That shoe is easily going to resell for over $1,000, depending on the size you got. Depending on the size you got, you can get upwards of $1,000 plus on a Travis Scott shoe. So, there's no wonder the entries are high on a Travis Scott shoe, because his shoes purely resell, and it's an automatic bag every time you hit a Travis Scott. Now, me, I'm keeping mine. Now, I may down the line, use the shoe for collateral, for some, other shoes that I may want, but the option is there. If you hit a Travis Scott, 9 times out of 10, people are going to resell that shoe. That's why it has so many entries. So the botting side now, yeah, things are still heavily botted. However, the resale demand is not there for a lot of sneakers, and you still got people spending a lot of money using credit cards, using buy now, pay later, PayPal credit, and all these other services, that they're using, and hopefully they're using it wisely, because a lot of the shoes that people are just stacking up on, bro, those are not reselling like that. The Panda Dunk was one of the shoes that had a high resale value for a year or two. Now you can't really make no money on no Panda Dunks. You really can't. The only people that's spending that is somebody that really don't care about managing their money, and they just want the shoe or whatever. But those type of shoes don't really have resale value anymore. And pandas, When they first started dropping Panda Dunks, those were going for 300 plus. Easy. Now, 130, 140. I know at least for my size 12, 130, 140. You know, and they retail 110. So that's what, an extra $20, $30? Ain't worth it. Ain't worth it. Unless you really got customers and clientele like that that wants to buy Nike Dunks that bad, then ain't worth no money. It ain't worth no money. So, that's another side to the equation on, this whole sneaker buying thing. And, people want, shoes like the Nike Air Force Off-White. That's a hard shoe to get. And not only that, it's not gonna be a lot of pairs of those. So they're gonna be in demand. One, because the supply is not a lot, but the demand is a lot. So when you only, make 50,000 pairs of a shoe, and you got millions of people that want them, and then you got a botter or botters putting in millions of entries to your 1, 2, or hell, even 100, you got no chance. You got a slim chance. I mean, slim. That 2% of botters that get through, about half of that is gonna get the shoe. Over half, I would say about 80 to 90% is gonna get the shoe, and the regular person, the human that's manually doing, slim chance. You're gonna have a few people hit. That's why I want to see their numbers on that. I want to see the numbers on the actual humans hitting despite the bots. So if they saying they prevent 98% of the bots, that means 98% of humans win and 2% of the bots win. I gotta see that. I really gotta see the numbers on that, because I don't know if I believe that, man. I don't know if I believe that, because that's really high. That's a really high success rate when it comes to that. Like I said, if I can pull this video up of James Whitmer saying how much he spends on a launch preventing bots and a time limit, that says everything. So I'm gonna try to go here real quick, because it's better said from the person that actually hold on, I can find it, and then we're gonna continue this thing. Let's see. Change a bit new complex. Okay. Okay, here we go.
Like that one release doesn't even like fund the store. It's just like marketing for the business. For 4 minutes to get, man, it's like, yo, bots and technology, they can break the internet faster than we can fix it. Yeah. But for us to like, I just laugh, like, because for those first 4 minutes that you got on our site, you got 4. After that, if it lasts more than 4, then we got a bigger issue anyway, right? But I think, if the bot attacks last more than 4 minutes, or the product not selling. No, actually, yeah. Usually the product is gone in a minute because people get in line, and once they're queued and in line, unless they do something crazy like hit refresh or X out the screen, they're in line and it takes their queue. So it populates the shoes. I don't know at what point, I'm not a coder, so at what point they pick their stats, but they're allocated something at some point, not processed. So after 4 minutes, bots can't get in, but the shoes are usually gone at that point. Are you like, how dialed in are you on those days? Are you in a war room with 50 computers? Man, shout out to our team. Most importantly, shout out to Kev. Kev, our team is incredible. Mark, Kev, I just had to show up. Kev, when it comes to releases, Kev got a team, and our team is around him, and they lock it up. And Wes and Chris, they dial in, they go in, make sure that we allocate raffle, we allocate web, people win, All the shoes go to people, and most importantly, nobody ends up on the internet with a room full of shoes taking a picture in front of it.
True. We talked about the threes. You know, you have the 12s on. You had the ones and twos in between that. Yours that he mentioned?
No. I mean, he's dialed in that way, but as I think Marcus gets the Brit of the good and the bad more than I do, so I think that's a good Marcus. That's a good question.
I don't know if Marcus will ever talk to us again, unfortunately.
Yeah, man, y'all truck him.
I hope.
I'm looking for the part where it said how much he spent per lunch to prevent bots.
Stand away from it.
Let me ask you this. Do you watch how the internet reacts to sneaker releases and how they there's this thing now where every release that comes, there are people who are going to grade how the stores handled it and whether or not the shoes were distributed in an equitable manner. And the Marcus Jordan story, we all know it. It's infamous now. Everybody believes that the shoes were backdoored. I do as well. You know, he's limited his comments to us on that. Do you feel like those reactions that you've seen around your store are fair? You know, do you feel like you guys get dragged with respect to how the shoes get released?
I don't think nobody has a better release process than me. You can put us up against anybody. And I shouldn't say me, I should say us. The way Cav runs our releases, the way they sit there and go through, like, it's a team of people that spends way more time and money. We spend $500,000 a launch. So we can't launch Nike, Jordan, anything that's a project. We don't launch it. It costs $500,000 to hold bots out for 4 minutes.
So it's not even like I've heard that in the past too, where it was like, you know, you'd hear stories about, you know, like maybe like Kith drops an A6 and it's like the amount of effort and time that goes into like that one release doesn't even like fund the store. It's just like marketing for the business.
For 4 minutes to get. Man, it's like, bots and technology, they can break the internet faster than we can fix it.
Yeah.
But for us to, like, I just laugh. Like, because for those first 4 minutes that you got on our site, you got 4. After that, if it lasts more than 4, then we got a bigger issue anyway, right? But I think...
You mean if the bot attacks last more than 4 minutes?
Or the product not selling?
No, actually, yeah. Usually the product is gone in a minute because people get in line. And once they're queued and in line, unless they do something crazy like hit refresh or X out the screen, they're in line and it takes their queue. So it populates the shoes. I don't know at what point, I'm not a coder, so at what point they pick their sides, but they're allocated something at some point, not processed. So after 4 minutes, bots can't get in, but the shoes are usually gone at that point.
Are you, like, how dialed in are you on those days? Are you in a war room with 50 computers?
Man, shout out to our team.
Man. He just said everything right there, man. $500,000 a launch to prevent bots for 4 minutes. And that's even if it lasts 4 minutes. That was James Whitner, the owner for the Whitaker Group, Ama Munier, Social Status, APB Store, Prosper, so forth and so on. Bruh, that's how difficult it is to hit a shoe. That's how difficult it is to hit a shoe online. It's difficult. COVID changed so many things. Now everything is, mobile-based, web-based. Either you got an app, the reward system, or you got a bot. And even sometimes manually, is difficult as well. But the flip side is, the COVID hype, or the resale hype, gone in the wind. It's done. Because some people, more manual dubs are starting to go out. Even though he referenced that, he want to get the product in the hands of the people, not a person on social media posting a picture with 50 to 100 plus shoes. And that's from James Whitner himself. That's what he wants. How he runs his launches and his projects with his companies, because he has a collaboration with Nike and Jordan Brand. So when they do a project, that's how he runs his launches. He wants the product in people's hands, and botting is just
third-party platforms like StockX, Goat, and Flight Club, and exclusive drops can bring in huge profits for resellers. In 2022, Nike's Air Force One.
Okay, my bad. But that's how people run their stuff differently. But it's really about, like I said, the average person. If you really want to shoot one, don't depend on Sneakers app. Sneakers app has no reward system, and if it's a shoe that nobody wants, you can get it. But if it's a high demand shoe, 9 times out of 10, you're not gonna get it. Your loyalty, how much you spend, how long you've been with them, that does not matter. It doesn't matter. Not with Sneakers app. Hell, it don't. It really don't matter anywhere, because sometimes it is about what have you done for me lately. And if you ain't been spending, you ain't been, you know, taking the exclusive accesses, or picking up your releases when you enter raffles and reservations. They have to take that in consideration. So that's why it's important to you know build your accounts with these companies that have a reward system. I'm not talking about Nike sneakers. That's something totally different, because it doesn't matter. If you want a Travis Scott, you want a highly released Jordan shoe, you want a collab shoe, off white, any of those things, 9 times out of 10, you're not gonna get it unless you find somebody to bot for you that's really good at botting. And even then, it's still a small chance. Uh, or you connect it, to these retailers. That's the only way. Or you buy it on the resale market. Other than that, very low percentage, man. Like, I got lucky and hit the Travis Scott olives. I entered it in on Sneakers app, and I got a dub. First dub on my account for a collab that high. I mean, I hit the DJ Khaled's, but they don't have a demand like the Travis Scott's. The Travis Scott's has the highest collab demand outside Off White with Virgil. And rest in peace to him. So, it's just about, doing your footwork. If you can't do it, then you pay for somebody like me to do that. And, as I said, a lot of Jordan retros are sitting now. Basic GRs, a lot of people don't care. Even some of them still do sell out. But, there's always a restock. You got people on Twitter now that tweets out restocks and things like that. I'm gonna have a service for that, because even then, bots can still eat. So you can't even go click the link; it might be sold out because of bots, or somebody had the information prior to them tweeting that. So this is how deep it can go, with this whole botting and reselling and all of this other stuff. I mean, it don't have the same energy as COVID and maybe 2021, but it still happens. Even if you want a basic GR like the um, Retro 6 Toros. Now you may be able still to get that shoe and it's going for less than retail on the resale market. But 9 times out of 10, if a shoe is sitting, it doesn't mean that it's sitting in your size. Because 9 times out of 10, the bigger sizes are going to be gone, because those have more value, than smaller sizes. And then, restocks. They make a lot of pairs. People either cancel their orders or return their shoes, and there you have it. So you're not gonna find a Jordan 11 or a Travis Scott or a Jordan 1 Chicago sitting in stores. It's not gonna happen. Not even the smaller sizes. The smaller, the baby crib shoes, the grade schools, the preschools, you're not even gonna find those, because those gonna be sold out as well. It's a Chicago colorway. It is the first Jordan shoe under Jordan 11. You'll never. I think you've seen some of the cherries, in Nike outlets, and that's purely because people don't really like the colorway, or I really think it's because people need the money. And I think it's more economic than anything because if we didn't have high inflation and the economy was fine and everything was good, I don't see people taking their pairs back unless they genuinely really just didn't want the shoe and wanted seen them in hand and was like, I don't like them. You do have those cases, but in general, a Jordan 11 is flying off the shelf. It's selling out quick. But, also goes back to, in my previous video when I was talking about Nike executives, shifting their executives and, getting their design department together because, a lot of these colorways people just don't like. It just, people don't like them. So, you got that, you got to throw that in there as well. So, I mean, let's see. This is a Yahoo Finance article, also about Nike, how they working to fight off bots. Let me read it. It's going to take about 4 minutes, and then you know, we'll comment on that. So it says how Nike is working to fight off 12 billion monthly bot submissions on the sneakers app. Breakups are always tricky. From the heartbreak to the reminiscing of memories, experiencing a relational transition can be seen as one of life's tragedies. Tragedies. Although the beginning and end of a relationship are a natural part of human development, it doesn't take away the sting when something special ends. While many will encourage folks to turn the L into a lesson, what happens when it's hard to say goodbye, so you just keep coming back, or even worse, when the love you have isn't even reciprocated. Ooh, you shoot shots. The narrative may sound like the next great rom-com or the plot for Shonda Rhimes spinoff. However, it is not the case here. This emotional roller coaster actually refers to the reality of many sneakerheads and their experience with the Nike sneakers app. Told you it's not just a thing a few people go through. This is global, man. This is global. Week after week, the latest shoes drop on the app, and while many are successful in their purchases, other potential buyers are left with the all too common your entry was not selected. Wasn't selected. Notification. Talk about a loss. And it comes across the screen, man. Everybody knows that screen. It is a common thing. Moving forward. Despite this back and forth, many sneaker fans they seem to proverbially hold on to the 2006 words from Chingy. Every time I try to leave, something keeps pulling me back, telling me I need you in my life. That's cold. And it is that consistent tug coupled with the love for shoes that convinces consumers to return to sneakers as they battle bots and figure out algorithms in hopes of landing the latest release. And that's another thing people try to do. They try to figure out what's the algorithm on how to win on sneakers. And it's no algorithm, man. Listen, I've tried. I know people that have tried, whole sneaker groups that tried different things, waiting a couple minutes before getting in, waiting 5-10 minutes. By the time you do that, shoe is sold out. Especially if you wear a bigger size, shoe is gone. And it's so sophisticated now, we have the stock numbers for these products. We have the stock numbers, so we know how many pairs they have available and what size they have them available in and the number. So there may be a size 9 that has 5,000 pairs, size 10 that has 10,000 pairs. And you may have a total of like 200,000 pairs, but that's still 200,000, out of a million people or millions of people that's trying to get this shoe. That's still difficult. That is still not a high chance. It's not a high chance that you're going to win. and it's not guaranteed. Just because you bought the last release or the last 10 releases, don't mean you're going to automatically get the win this time. So, people try different strategies. And I have to say, it don't always come to fruition. People be trying to use Apple Pay and say that's successful, and then it don't work the next time. So it's no guarantee with Nike. Nike, I had to say it. Nike, the worst place to try to cop a shoe. It's just too difficult. It's really not easy to cop a shoe. Now anybody can go on there and grab a shoe that nobody wants or other people find hideous. But if it has resale value or it has some hype behind it, you're screwed. Moving on. And it is the consistent tug coupled with the love for shoes that convinces consumers to return to sneakers as they battle bots and figure out algorithms in hopes of landing the latest shoe. With the uptick in technological advances, bots are taking up so much space in the sneaker space, leaving some wondering if their hard work and efforts will ever pay off. That's funny. They won't, trust me. Not with Sneakers app. The good news is that Nike is fighting back. The massive sneaker company doesn't plan to keep dishing out heartbreaks to those who love sneakers the most. In fact, it's working on verifying submissions to the app and removing bots to even the playing field. Now, I should have said this before. So there used to be a common thing that in order to win on Sneakers app or to get exclusive access, because they do that. They do exclusive access. Now I've known people that had the app longer than me, and I only been in there 3 years. People who've been on Sneakers app for 5 or whenever it came out, and they have never had exclusive access. I've had it a few times, and what's weird about exclusive access on Sneakers app is that they will give you exclusive access to shoes that, let's say you're a man and you wear a size 12 or 11. They will give you exclusive access to a women's shoe that only goes up to a size 12 in women, 10 and a half in men. Like, what's the point? I'm not a woman. I'm a man. Now, if they had extended sizes for that particular shoe, that would be different. But why would you give me exclusive access to products I cannot wear? Why would you do that? That doesn't make sense. And, Nike is garbage for that, man. That's trash. You give me exclusive access to shoes I don't want and that I can't wear. That's crazy. But they say you get exclusive access. Before they said exclusive access is given to members randomly, but they said you have to, watch the videos on the app. You have to hit the like button. You have to share, whatever on there, the videos and stories and all that. And I get it. The stories and videos on there are pretty cool. We like that. I like it for sure. But they was trying to say this is how we win and get exclusive access. And that just wasn't true. It wasn't true at all. So, man, Nike, y'all down bad right now, man. Y'all gotta change some stuff. So, moving forward. Sneaker news. Nike sneakers received 12 billion bot submissions for shoes per month. A portion of this was made most relevant during the latest drop of the Travis Scott Thomas Air Jordan 1 High OG reverse mocha release, which received 3.8 million entries, with about 1.9 million of them being bots. What did I tell you? Half of the entries are bots. And guess how many pairs will probably release? 80, 70,000, maybe. And you got 3.8 million entries, and half of them are bots. Bots. Just not good math. Not good math. All right. So when it comes to releases on sneakers, the general assumption is that bots usually controlled by resellers dominate access, shutting out sneaker collectors with good intentions, Nike said in a post. Let's see if we can get this post. Yeah, let's see. I think because they did post this on the app. I need to see if they'll pull it up. Because they did post this on the app a while back. Before I go on, I want to see if it's going to come up or not. Because I did take a screenshot of it. But that was so long ago. Let me see. No. All right. What the hell just happened? All right. Now I gotta find the article again because no, it's right here. It's not gonna pull it up. Oh, here it goes. Okay, so I'm gonna read this and then get back to the Yahoo article. So it says inside sneakers bot protection. This is what it looks like. Now we got this maybe a few months ago. Okay, so it says when it comes to releases on sneakers, the general assumption is that bots usually controlled by resellers dominate access, shutting out sneaker collectors with good intentions. In reality, sneakers launches are protected against bots in many ways. To clarify how bot protection works during a sneakers launch, we've added a screen to our launch experience outlining when and how we remove bots and validate entries. We're rolling this out over the coming months. If you don't see it now, you will soon. Our intent with this screen and the information below is to give members more context around bots and how sneakers launches are protected from them. They're not protected because your success rate is supposedly 98%. That means 2% bots still eating. So, and I talked about that earlier about them integrating that new screen when you go to enter in for a shoe. That screen does pop up. So it says, "What is a bot?" Bots are automated programs that fake real consumer activity, primarily to join launches and purchase products with the intent to resell. Not necessarily. You can't say that it is for resale purposes. It could be so they can get the damn shoe, and other people can, other botters maybe, reselling. So that's disingenuous. But in general, whatever. And it says, how are sneakers launches protected against bots? Nike uses a variety of tools to identify and remove bots from the sneakers platform, including advanced analytics and machine learning to verify that users and entries are authentic. There is a team of Nike engineers dedicated to dismantling bots designed to game launches. We take bot protection extremely seriously and critically evaluate launches both in real time and retroactively to evolve our defenses and remain a step ahead of bot developers. Is this protection new for sneakers? No, it's not. Nike and sneakers have been defending launches against bots for about 7 years with significant accuracy and success. We have added new messaging within the launch process on sneakers as part of an effort to provide more transparency about how we validate entries. We have also taken measures within our terms of sale to address those who are leveraging bots and protect authentic users. How many bots are identified and removed? Depending on the popularity of a launch, bot attacks can make up about 10 to 50% of all entries. Every month, Nike stops as many as 12 billion bot calls attempted to game sneakers launches globally and actively identifies accounts exhibiting bot activity during every launch. Does Nike remove all bots? Nike removes the majority of bots from launches, with especially aggressive defenses focused on our most popular launches. Bot innovation is constantly evolving, so it is possible that a small fraction of bot entries may be successful for any given launch. We remain on the offense daily to ensure that our technology and tactics stay ahead of the game and verify authentic community members have fair access to launches. If launches are protected from bots, why don't I see more W's? Sneakers features Nike's most coveted drops, and demand often greatly outweighs supply. Various factors impact how many pairs Nike makes of a given sneaker, but the goal is always the same, making sure our most popular product goes to real fans. All right, so that's their, I guess I wouldn't say disclaimer, but how they detailed their bot protection, or their new bot protection, and how they try to prevent bots. Um, but I think it's funny though that they try to make it seem like people don't just be getting through, bots don't be just getting through cooking, um, even with their high success rates supposedly. But I know people for sure that bot, and they cook every release. Every release. Now, what happens is when they was talking about the number of entries, 12 billion is a lot globally. It is a lot. The thing is, as a manual user, as a regular person, you have to go in with the mindset that just try is not a guarantee. There's nothing that Nike can do about it. They will never, ever prevent 100% of the bots. It's just not going to happen because it's technological. And their technology can't outbeat, some of the technology out here. And then now with, AI and all of this other stuff, it could get crazy. It could get crazy. Now they said they prevent 98%. That's pretty damn good. That's pretty damn good. And 2% still make it through. I'm willing to debate that. However, if that's real, those are the real numbers, you got to tip your hat to them for trying at least. But that doesn't mean you're going to get a W. This is why Sneakers app is the last place I will try to cop a sneaker. You're better off doing your feet work, shopping at retailers like Foot Locker, Champ Sports, JD Sports, Finish Line, Shoe Palace, any retailer that you can get to. You got a DTLR, Snipes, Jimmy Jazz, Dick's Sporting Goods. Shop with them. You got a better chance at winning at those stores than you do with Sneakers app. Guaranteed. Because even with Nike Sneaker Pass, I've entered maybe 10 to 15 times. I recently just won once. But then again, I don't really shop at Nike that frequently. If I go to the Nike outlet, the Nike store, I may buy some things, but I don't shop with them frequently. However, I've been shopping with them over 5 years. So you would think, history, loyalty. No, doesn't matter. Doesn't matter. It's all randomized. And this is why people have a problem with Nike. They don't have a reward system. And it probably will be difficult to have a reward system, because then you would have to cater to every person, old and new. And it's just hard to do that. It's just kind of impossible to satisfy everybody, because they're not going to make 1 million shoes. They're not going to make 1 billion shoes or in that silhouette. They're not going to make 1 billion Jordan 1 Chicago's and, cater to everybody. It just don't work like that. And that's a supply and demand factor. So, and you have to live with the reality of that. So the only solutions is other retailers, or find a botter, or learn how to bot yourself. That's how you got to look at it. It ain't fair, but that's how it is. So I mean, there is a little hope because sneaker reselling is not booming like it used to, or like it was for that short period of time. So now it's in a boom and bust cycle. It's busting right now because shoes are sitting, and we talked about that. So anyway, let me keep moving on. However, Nike is committed to eliminating bot injuries to support humans hoping to purchase shoes. Lucy Rouse, sneakers general manager and VP, noted that Nike has a 98% success rate at clearing out bot entries. One component is the verifying submissions message that appears to users once they submit their payment method for the draw. Based on a footwear news report, Nike updated its terms of service, giving the company the right to cancel orders, limit purchases, and decline access. To that end, a reason for cancellation could be, oh boy, what did they do? Let me just go back because they messed up the screen. However, Nike is committed to eliminating bot injuries to support humans hoping to purchase shoes. Lucy Rouse, Sneakers General Manager and VP, noted that Nike has a 98% success rate at clearing out bot entries. One component is the verifying submissions message that appears to users once they submit their payment method for the draw. Based on a footwear news report, Nike updated its terms of service, giving the company the right to cancel orders, limit purchases, and decline access. To that end, a reason for cancellation should be if Nike believes the submission was from an auto-generated mechanism such as bots. But outside of the verifying message that appears to consumers, how is Nike working to combat bot submissions to better empower human consumers? In reality, sneakers launches are protected against bots in many ways. The Nike post continued. To clarify how bot protection works during a sneakers launch, we've added a screen, and yeah, we read all of that already. So even with its efforts, Rouse shared that although she works to remedy this issue is ongoing. There are still tech issues that can infiltrate the system and efforts. The amount of traffic that we get, and that's both bots and actual keen, energetic, excited users, is huge. The reality of that is sometimes we do have new and unexpected. Why does it keep doing that? We do have new and unexpected bugs, Rouse said. Outside the latest Travis Scott collaborative release, sneakers also acknowledged scaling issues for restocking and launching shoes, namely the Air Jordan 1 High Lost and Found Chicago's. Mitigating these additional tech issues further complicates the work with bots and the company's ability to ensure a fair and equitable process. What we're constantly trying to do is provide enough information so that we're giving consumers confidence, but not give too much information because that can result in it being leveraged to botters, Ralph said. It's a real balance, one that we're trying to navigate. So, they're going to try. They're going to do what they can to, prevent as many botters as possible. But, that's difficult. That's a difficult process, man. And especially the way how advanced technology is now, it's just difficult to stop. And they're doing a pretty good job, as they say. I would like to see the paperwork and data on that. Then hey, you gotta do best with what the information that you have and do best with what you got. And I'm here to tell you, make sneakers your last option. I mean, it's good to try, go in, enter, and wait. Fine, but I wouldn't count on it. I wouldn't count on it. Because even if it's a shoe that you think, is gonna sit and you'll be able to, loop around and come back. No, don't work like that because it'll mess around and it'll sell out. Um, and it's not like you can go to a Nike store and get the shoe unless they have like a sneaker pass. A sneakers pass then yeah, you still have to go through a verification process with that too. So it's not just something, oh, well, I can just go to Nike and just pick up the shoe. No, it don't work like that. You have to go through the sneaker pass process as well to, try to get the shoe in store. But it's not like going to Finish Line, JD Sports, Foot Locker, Champ Sports, Shoe Palace, Dick Sporting Goods, DTLR, Snipes, Kith. It's just so many other retailers. Chic, it's not the same process. It's different. And they all have a reward system. And in that reward system, they're gonna give leverage and credit to those members, that has the history and the money spent and the points, the value and all of that. They're gonna give them, credence over that. So you as the average customer, you know, you're gonna have to, do some footwork and build relationships with these companies, through their reward systems. And that's the best way to try to get a shoe mainly. Depending on sneakers app, y'all should stop that. I've read enough, articles and gave out so much information on why that's not a great idea and why you should leave thoughts like that behind and just, enter. And hell, I don't even enter sneakers app like that. I may go in there to watch, some of the things that they have coming out because they always doing something dope with storytelling and, introducing new people to the platform, and, sharing their stories and things like that. So I watch it because of that. But I'm not going there thinking, oh man, this is my only chance. And, I have to try on sneakers app because there is times that sneakers app may be the only place where that shoe is dropping outside of tier 0 stores, and you have to go there. But like I said, you have to use your resources, your relationships, your contacts, connects to get these shoes sometimes. And you know, that's the reality of it. The reality of it all. You have to put in some time, put in some work, get to know people, talk, you know. If you want to learn how to bot, that's great. It's going to take you a lot of money, a lot of time, a lot of failure for you to be able to be successful. Or you just have to pay a person. If you know a person that bots and they're pretty good at it, hey, pay them. Or find a person that's really good at, you know, with retailers and that's got connects like me. And you pay me, to get your shoes. It's either or. It's options out here. So if you depending on sneakers, it's a bad place to be. You know, and I love Nike. I'm a Nike investor. I'm a shareholder. So you know, but just because I'm a shareholder doesn't mean I ignore the things that's not working for the company and the issues that they need to address and fix. That doesn't you know that's why they have us vote on certain things they want to change up or introduce. As a shareholder, and you have those privileges to voice your opinions. So that's where we at with that, man. It's just putting yourself in the best position, to cop sneakers. And it can be difficult if all you depending on is sneakers app and Nike. So, there's so many more other retailers out here, that you can grow with, build with, and you know, sign up for their reward systems and grow your accounts to where, you know, you know it's damn near gonna be a W for you every time you enter a reservation or a raffle system. because you have that history, you have that, you have those points, the reward system, you have that connect, and hey, it's easy for you to get what you want in that regard. But yeah, man, I just wanted to do this video on that, because like I said, I always keep my ears and eyes to the street, and CNBC, provided some info that I already knew, but it's good that a financial media outlet is providing some information on that as well. Even though they're not foreign to it, Nike is a publicly traded company and it is a global company, so it's not a foreign idea for that information to be shared. But I wanted to bring that to you all. Especially if you into sneakers, and it's not really just sneakers either. It can be anything. It can be any retail item, cologne, Gucci, Louis Vuitton, any of that. If it can be sold online, it can be bought. It can be bought. It can be bought for sure. It's a guarantee. It can be bought. So any raffle system that doesn't have bot protection, I can get botted. Like Travis Scott website, when he releases his shoes and products, those get botted all the time. So it's not foreign ideas, foreign concepts. That stuff happens on the daily. It's real. But yeah, man, that's it for me. If y'all got any questions, leave me a comment, send me a message. Follow me on my social medias at Croft Sneakers and Wall Street Logic. Like my Facebook pages, follow me. Share the information. I know y'all can benefit from it. Just in your daily habits. Whether it's money management, budgeting, investing, savings. I got information. For all of that, all your financial, business, and consumer needs. Please just hit me up. Check out the content on my page. I have a lot of content that I share because life is about relationships, and relationships lead to your personal economy, personal economics, personal finances, and so on and so forth. So before I go, let me man, I'll actually post this on my page. I won't share this here. It's already been over an hour and a half, so I'm gonna leave it here, and I'll catch y'all on the next video. Until then, peace, power, and profit. Job Saneb, and I'll see y'all later. Peace.